Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started on the next talk. It's my esteemed privilege, indeed, to introduce this next speaker. He and I have some history. We've worked together in the past, and so we've had some memorable moments. I attended my first midnight movie with this gentleman when we were on a gig, on an engagement. It was episode 3, you need to know. If you have to ask what movie, that was episode 3.
Get out.
Mind. I guess another time he introduced me to Yingling before Yingling was like a thing in Georgia. We were in Florida, he and I, and at a restaurant, he introduced me to this thing called Yingling, and I just thought, that's pretty awesome. And then when I came to Georgia, I thought that was pretty awesome too.
3 pictures later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm guessing the other thing, if I had to pick something from this next guy, was that I could not spell snort before I met this gentleman. So let me give you please welcome Joel Esler.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate you guys having me on. I pace a lot, so this guy. My name is Joel Esler. I work for a group called Talus. So if you guys don't know what Talus is, it's a rather kind of new name. But we are the security group within Cisco. So I used to work for a company called SourceFire. You may have heard of it. We made this little thing called Snort and ClearAV and a whole bunch of other stuff. And about 2 years ago now, we were acquired by Cisco. And when we came aboard Cisco, I was a member of what was called the Vulnerability Research Team, or VRT. So when we came aboard Cisco, we found a couple of groups within Cisco that kind of knew what we did and kind of thought the way that we thought, which is not exactly the legal sense of thinking. But we grabbed those groups, we put them underneath our leadership, and we got rid of the VRT name, we got rid of the names that they had, and we call it Talus. So that's the name, that's the reason why that exists. So you'll notice that there's no Cisco in any of my slides because it makes Cisco very nervous what we do, so it's fairly fair. So we came on board Cisco and they were like, what are you guys doing? And we kind of explained what we do as if they didn't know. But then we kind of explained to the network people during the integration what we do. And they were like, yeah, you can't be on our network. You need to be over there. Which is interesting for a networking vendor to say. You think they will be able to segment us off into some thing. Turns out Cisco doesn't even run their own network, they contract it out. But anyway. True story. Yeah, great. This is being recorded, isn't it? Fantastic. All right. So I said to Phil, I said, hey, I'd love to come speak down there, that'd be great. But what would be interesting for the Augusta crowd to hear about? I said I could do something open source because I'm also in charge of open source within Cisco, but not all of Cisco, but at least the security business group. I can talk about SOAR, I can talk about ClearAV, I can talk about all these things that are around, or I can talk about something more threatening. And he said something more threatening would probably be more interesting. So I decided to go down that route. So I thought I'd talk about 2015 and kind of talk about malware that has been really prevalent this year, talk about some of the breaches that have happened this year, without naming names, because I get in trouble for doing that, and start talking about like exploit kits and things like that, and kind of where we're at today and where I think we're going over the rest of the year and probably into the next year. So let's start with malware. I put these up here because ransomware this year, at least from our perspective, I don't know about from your perspective, but from the customer's perspective, what we hear from customers, this is the thing that really gave people a lot of problems this year, was ransomware, right? I'm talking about CryptoLocker, CryptoWall, I'm talking about TeslaCrypt and its variant, which is called AlphaCrypt, TorrentLocker, like all these lockers, right? You know, these are all things that you somehow get on your drive, and you download it through some method, and I'll talk about that here in a second. And it, you know, locks your computer. It holds you for ransom, right? That's the point of these systems. And this is kind of a pain in the ass this year. You know, data, you know, we say data is the new target. That's just very not very buzzwordy, but is very, headline grabbing to us. But data is a new target. They're not looking for you to take your machine and do things, right? That's not what the crypto systems, these ransomware systems are designed to do. They're looking to take over your machines, and then you pay them to unencrypt your drive. And it's funny because you would think, oh, they lock your machine, and who would pay this, and I have to rebuild my machine, oh my God. What we found out is that if you actually pay these ransoms, they actually do unlock your machine. They give you your stuff back, which I find to be very, they have support lines. It's professional. I'm not lying. It's a professional organization. And so, the way that these get on your machines is just there's all kinds of different ways. I'm sure, show of hands who would have dealt with something like this year, right? Half the room. Okay, so that's, ransomware is a big pain in the ass. How does it get on my system? I'm going to speak from our perspective, and I know that there's a lot of other vendors, a lot of other people here at this conference. So I just want to say, this is how we see the ransomware on the machine the most. Okay, it's through exploit kits. Okay, now it gets on through email, it gets on through lots of other ways, but this is by far the best way that they get on. Okay. The Angular exploit kit right now is the most used method that we see. Okay, and we came out a couple of years ago, and I've been saying it for probably 3 years now. Ever since Black Hole collapsed, I've been saying that Angular is the best one, followed by show of hands and what I'm talking about when I say exploit kits. I'll have a little explanation here in a minute, but I've been saying for years that Angular is the best one. It's the most sophisticated, it's the best, it's the most obfuscated. I love it, I adore it. Whoever writes the thing is fantastic. I would say the second one behind that is probably Sweet Orange. But those two, to me, in my opinion, are the best. And I'm like, you guys did a really good job. You are bad guys, but I applaud what you did. The reason why this is so difficult to catch and prevent from both an antivirus point of view and both from an IPS point of view, from a firewall point of view, is that with the Angular exploit kit specifically, it comes down to encryption, right? It's not a very complicated encryption, it's XTA, but it comes down to encryption. You can't see it on the wire. I have a picture over here, I think in the next slide, that what it actually looks like, right? A standard HTTP header doesn't look like you're downloading any type of known file structure, right? You don't see an MZ, you don't see this is a portable executable type of thing. Right here in the header, you don't see any type of identifying marks as far as the file magic is concerned in this HTTP header, right? This is encrypted. It comes down just like this, and it gets executed in memory, which is genius. I love it. I'll talk about that here in a second. But crypto logger, crypto wall, big pain. Okay. Talk about test encrypt. We found this one to be very interesting because it imitates CryptoLocker. And people were coming out saying, oh, it reuses some of the code from CryptoWall 3. No, they didn't reuse it. They copied some thoughts behind it. But anyway, this one uses Bitcoin for payment. It says, if you look in this little blue box that has circles in here, right, it says, encryption was produced using a public key RSA-2048 generated key, which is not true. Okay, when we actually started doing the research into this, we found the encryption was actually AES CVC 256. So it wasn't really that strong of an encryption that they made it out to be. The funny part about that Tesla encrypt for me was, the funny part about it to me is they left the private key on the affected machine. Right? So normally when you want to encrypt something, you put the public key in one place and the private key in a different place. And with CryptoWall, right, you want to pay the ransom and then give the key to unencrypt your stuff. Tesla encrypt, they left both keys right on the machine. So, not really a smart move. So when we found this out during the research, we said, hey, don't pay them. We'll write you a tool. You can go download it for free, and it will unencrypt your stuff for you, right? There's no sense in paying them to do it. So that's what we did. If you actually go to talosintel.com, it's on there with one of our tools, but it's on there and you can download the Tesla decryption tool for free and input the link. And we've had people write into us like, thank you so much. We had a legal firm write into us, I won't name names because someone may have, we have a legal firm right now, it's like, you guys literally saved our practice. Like, this tool literally saved our practice. How much money do you want? We're like, nothing. We don't want anything. And in hindsight, it's kind of dumb. But, but like, no, literally, we'll pay you. We'll give you money. I was like, it's cool. Just, in fact, if you want to help, contribute, you know, we open source it too. We put it out on GitHub. Like, look, you want to contribute to the future development of the thing? Fine. But we don't need your money as far as this is concerned. The bad guy made a mistake, we took advantage of the mistake. Thank you. Email-based delivery of value, or AKA what I call, what the hell is it? So, who remembers, who was in security back in the early 2000s, 1990s, right? Who, you know, you remember these things like, and this is the train that we drive home. We've been driving home for 15, 20 years. Don't open email attachments from people that you don't know, right? Did we stop teaching that? Because, I don't know, anyway. But, so in the past 6 months, 9 months, year, this has been the primary infection method that we've seen. And so this went away for years, and now it's back. And what I mean by it went away is the email delivery of malware. It went away for 10 years. Everybody show of hands what this is. You know what this is. Try next. Okay? Who has received an email attachment that's in the form of a Word document or an Excel document? Okay. Probably try next. Okay? So, this is an Microsoft Office macro-based attack, right? And the funny part, read the red. Okay? Attention, to view this document, please turn on the edit mode and macros. I don't think is a word, but anyway. You have to turn on the macros to get this to execute. Now, we've seen this in English, we've seen this in Chinese, we've seen this in Farsi, we've seen this in Japanese, we've seen this in pretty much every language. And it's funny, it's not specifically, we don't think that this is a specifically targeted thing, right? This goes out into a mass email, and then you guys get it, and you double click on it, and you're like, oh, this must be fine, I'll just enable macros. I'm not saying you, I'm saying the users, right? I wouldn't imply that anybody here would be doing something like that. But this is using down on other things, okay? This is just a step in the middle, right? Dridex, it executes through, obviously macros, you know, once you enable it. It runs these wonderful macros. I know this is what we're going to say, this is quite rare, this shit slide, but anyway. It executes this macro, which it's fairly obfuscated. Some of them are more complicated than others. Some of them have VM detection, some don't. Some are very interesting. Some where the macro won't execute within the Word document until you actually go close the Word document. So it won't, like, you open up the Word document, right? You click enable macros and it won't run. You're like, oh, well, it didn't do it. So you close the Word document, then it runs. It has an on close, which is genius. I love it. Specifically made with base sandboxes, right? Things like, you know, automated email examination systems. So it executes these macros, does wonderful things, right? In this example, it redirects you over to ronniesflooring.com. And I don't want to pick on Ronnie, but I put that up there to try to illustrate that, you know, if you're looking through the web proxy logs, you're looking at the Ronnie logs, and you see someone going to ronniesflooring.com with that HTTP structure, are you going to think twice about it? I mean, you might now, but right from a generic perspective, you know, you think Ronnie's flooring. Ronnie's flooring is cool. Ronnie, he does good flooring. You're not worried about it, right? Someone's checking out their flooring. It's not what this is. It downloads this thing, okay? Which is some nice, you know, visual basic. And writes this all out. And this starts you down the path of some evil nonsense, right? And this is, again, this is just by executing this Word document. It creates a VBS script, okay? That last thing creates another, it creates a VBS script, batch file, and then it creates a VBS script. Then it forms a Microsoft GET request using the built-in, thank you Microsoft so much for your built-in protocol and features. Server XML HTTP GET request. I'm going to skip some stuff here because I could go for a half hour just on Dridex. But Eventually, in this example, it forms this URL request, right? Goes to Dropbox, and it downloads an executable, and then the executable is executed most available, right? You wouldn't think, again, so what have you seen going out there? You've seen a request going to monexplorer.com, and then the request right after that was to Dropbox. No, we've seen it in Dropbox, we've seen it in Google Drive, we've seen it in Microsoft, whatever the heck they call it. We've seen it in all the free shared listing providers. So this is really interesting stuff. I don't know what this particular example that I picked out here, but when I started looking at the numbers of DryX, this was a gigantic campaign, right? We saw thousands of these a day, all different, SHA-256s, so they're extremely unique, all MD5 and stuff like that. But the last run we saw was on September 5th. 2 days later, Brian Krebs posted this post on September 7th that said, hey, they arrested the guy that did DryX, allegedly. I can't help but correlate the fact that the last one we saw was on the 5th, and he posted it on the 7th, and now we didn't see it anymore. So hopefully DryX is going down. But yeah, so there's one. So now the cleanup begins, right? All these boxes around the world are infected with this thing. And they're infected with the malware that DryX brought down. So now the cleanup begins. And we're working with various industry partners right now to work with them to try and help clean home machines, right? And business machines. And partners in the effort are things like other antivirus vendors, other operating system vendors, and stuff like that. I don't want to name names because, again, I can jump over that. So, Patron. How many people have heard this one? A couple of you. This is also email-based delivery, but this is even more blatant in my opinion. Right? This comes out as a P32, as a window executable, right? It's usually inside of a zip file, inside of a RAR file, or something like that, right? Again, don't open email attachments from people you don't know. Don't open email attachments. Just don't do it. Stop sending attachments. That's what I'm saying. Post it in Dropbox. Oh wait, Dropbox is. But this is more interesting because it's not a Word document, it's not an Excel document, it is an executable, and they just zip it and send it to you. And these people double click on zip and then they execute. Like, really? Stop it. The most common extension that we see to this type of thing is .scr. Anybody tell me what .scr is? Screensaver. What is a screensaver? Program on the machine. But what type of file is a screensaver file? It's a P32. A lot of people don't know that. Oh, it's a screensaver file. Just because it says .scr means nothing. It is an executable. Okay? So if you actually look at the file structure of a .scr file, it is an executable. They have a very specific URL, thank God, because it allows us to pick it out. Don't post that part. But anyway, it has a very specific URL tied to a campaign number. And in this example that I pulled from September 10th, you can see the 10 right there in that little bracket that I highlighted. Right, that 10 is the date. And they started doing this URL structure, I think, on the 7th of the 8th. Right, so they started doing this URL structure, and you can see that it goes outbound to this IP on a non-standard port, which is interesting. Okay? You would block non-standard ports going outbound from your network, right? I guess so. Right? Thousands of people are affected the same day. Has the campaign number. That next number that you see is 618321 because this was right in the sandbox actually. That's actually the unique identifying number of the sandbox that's infected. And then it kind of goes on with some other identifying. And again, I could talk for a half hour just about Apache itself because this is such a complicated thing. But again, it pulls down things like Dire. Anybody know what Dire is? It's a banking Trojan, right? And it pulls down things like it pulls down things like Dire. It pulls down, which is a banking Trojan keylogger, right? Runs on your machine, watches you log into things and uploads the credentials that you're using to some external site. All encrypted. It's all over corporate free. It's all. But it's a nasty piece. But it's not going away. We haven't seen Apache go away. We haven't seen it dwindle down in numbers. In fact, it's been increasing. Now, the Giant is going. That'll probably be the next target that we need to attack from a large scale point of view. I bring up jar files as attachments. Jar file runs in Java, right? People, it's not new, but it is increasing. We're seeing a lot of these, right? You go down, you open up these file attachments, and it's a zip file. Actually, the jar file is actually a zip file. You may not know that, but it's actually a zip. But if you go, we see people execute, they just, again, oh, it's a zip file. Okay, just because it has .zip at the end doesn't mean it's a zip, right? And they'll double click on this thing, it executes in the background, does all kinds of nasty stuff. This is not new, but we're seeing a lot more of it, so keep your eyes out for .zip files. They used to be okay. Now they're not. Again, we're back in 1998 for some reason. And POS malware, okay? There's been a lot of them. This is one of the ones that we were involved with. This is called Poseidon, but this is a point of sale POS malware. You guys know what I'm talking about when I say POS, right? Point of sale, the thing that you swipe your credit card through. I'm sure that's fine. Hopefully we can replace all of that with chip and pin, right? Because that'll save us all. So this one wasn't tailored specifically for large organizations like some of the ones you have read about in the news, okay? This was specifically tailored for smaller mom and pop shops, right? Like people that make subs for a living, right? And they swipe your little credit card on little bitty machines, right? This is what this one was designed for. It sets persistence. It requests a command from a CNC server in .ru. Anybody know what .ru is? Russia, yes, sure, it's fine. If you don't need to communicate with these countries, don't allow it. Just going to throw that out. You set your own download, and it downloads and executes, this piece of malware is, like I said, it already set this persistence. It downloads more malware, which is nice. It installs the keylogger, and then it scrapes the memory for credit card numbers, right? And then as it's scraping the memory for these credit card numbers, it's uploading the values it goes, which is nice. It's a nice feature. To a .ru exploitation server. This was all over the place. We found this all over the place. And it was very nice. And it has, to date, I think it has like 8 different versions of this thing. So they just keep improving it, building more features in, and deploying this in different places. Talk about exploit kit for a minute. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not going to get too deep into this, right? You could probably talk for an entire day specifically on exploit kits and the variants of them and all the different ones. I want to specifically talk about Angular. Because like I said in my opening, I still believe that Angular is the best one. So, I already said that. This thing is good. How do I get this? Okay? You get into the Angular exploit kit in a ton of different ways. Okay? One of the ways that we're researching the most right now is compromised data servers. Okay? You go to some web server, you go to, let's say you go to apple.com. I don't want to say one that's actually infected, but let's say you go to apple.com. Actually, I can't say apple.com. Let's go to apple.com, right? And then you go to apple.com and there's an ad that's served to you, right? And it might not be every ad. It might be every 6th ad or something like that, right? It actually has, there are campaigns out there where it picks every 6th ad and it will send you, redirect you into the exploit kit through malvertising every 6th ad as opposed to every ad. But anyway, this is one of the ways we're researching right now. And that compromised malvertising type of nonsense will throw you into an iframe, the iframe redirection to some other stuff. And I have a graphic here that is very poorly composed, so bear with me, but this is kind of how the structure works, right? You're the user up at the top. How you get into that entrance is, there's a ton of different ways you can do that, like I said in the slide before. But in the middle of you actually going to the exploit kit, which is down here at the bottom, there's a relay server in the middle. Okay? And I'll talk about how this kind of works, right? You go from the user, you get to the entrance, however you get to the entrance, you get to the relay server. the communication between the relay server and the exploit kit serving server is actually encrypted. Okay, and we found this out, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more probably in the upcoming weeks on our blog. But we partnered with some, I'll say ISP. Okay, we partnered with an ISP, and they allowed us to kind of do some research into this, and we figured out how it works on the back end. So this figures out, the relay server will figure out, like any exploit kit, which exploit it's going to throw at you, right? It's going to pick what version of Flash you have, and it's going to throw you the correct, Flash is the most common vector used by Angular, but it's going to pick what version of Flash you have, and it's going to say, hey, I'm going to send you the correct exploit for that version of Flash. So then you're exploited, right? So let me go get the exploit comes down, and you can see it. It's a Flash file. It's great. You can pick it out. You can actually look at it in the header, and you can say this is a Flash file. You know, so it's not obfuscated, it's not encrypted in any way. It's right there. Then it says, okay, now that you're exploited, go get the payload, and the payload then comes down. But the payload comes down encrypted, as I said, XDA encrypted, but it comes down in memory, which is the best part about this exploit. And what I mean by it comes down in memory is you don't see a file download. Right? Like I said, it comes down encrypted. You see the file download encrypted, but then it executes right resident memory. Okay? You don't see, what I mean by memory is if you look at a process tree, right, and you see Internet Explorer begat Flash, and you don't see that because Flash is actually executed in the context of Internet Explorer, but you see Internet Explorer, and then you would expect to see a subprocess of an infected, you know, crypto ball or something like that. You never see that. It happens inside Internet Explorer, inside that memory, which is genius. I love it. But like I said, there's going to be more on the subject soon. I was hoping that we would be able to get the blog post out before I came out here so I could talk a little bit more about it. Unfortunately, I'm still under NDA for some of this. But we're going to release the kind of the full details we have on Angular. And what the end goal of what we're currently researching is to try to get to the top of this heap, right? So we're about 3/4 of the way. We're getting close. So, like I said, I want to talk about exploit kits. I didn't want to talk about every exploit kit because I could go for forever. But let me talk a few things about where I think things are going. And this is, again, this is not Cisco's opinion or Talos' opinion. This is just my opinion based upon what I see, okay, on a daily basis in the research that I do. Targeted breaches. Anybody can throw a spam campaign out there and you can get infected with a password, try whatever. Anybody can do that. That's not hard. Okay? What I'm talking about is these specifically targeted breaches that are going after retail vendors, right? I don't want to mention any names. Try to be very fair. They're going after vendors that, you know, sell things. Right? Very specific targeted breaches. Or you may have heard a little compromise in the U.S. government recently that had to do with security clearances, right? Targeted, extremely targeted. I think that's going to be the thing. You've heard about a couple of these this year. I say dating sites, and it's in air quotes, right? Dating sites. Actually, I should just put dating in quotes. That would be funnier. Anyway. This was my favorite hack of the year because of the morals behind it. And these guys. So if you don't know the inside of this particular dating hack that happened, Action Madison, it's been in the press. People that hacked Action Madison. This was my favorite one. The reason why is because they hacked it and they said, "Look, we have all your data. Here's proof that we have all your data. You can either shut down your website or release it." I was like, that's interesting. You can either shut down your website or we'll release all the data that we have. Okay. That's morally interesting. Well, they didn't shut the website down. So, one thing we found was very interesting about Ashley Madison hack is that it did not, that apparently, allegedly, I don't know from personal experience, I heard from other people, that you didn't have to confirm the email address, right? So you could just make up an email address and put it in and register with actionmadison.com. And you didn't have to actually confirm that was actually your email address. So you could put in a fake email address. And we knew that by looking at the email addresses that came across as part of the company that I worked for. So we first thing we did when we looked through we got the email address and the name dump, so we said, let's grab Cisco.com. Turns out Cisco.com is the third largest tech company in there. Thank you very much. We strive to be we'll become IBM soon. So Cisco's number 3, and so we started looking at this, we're like, okay, let's look at the actual email addresses. A lot of email addresses were fake. And that's how we knew that you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to register, you didn't have to confirm your email address, something like that's not a real email address. I won't say the email addresses because it makes kind of insurance companies. A couple of insurance companies you may have heard this year will probably breach, allegedly. Just say. It's been in the news. And you saw one this week, right? Anyone? That's not the end of it. There's a little more. Intelligence tells me that in addition to the 2 or 3 that have been public, insurance companies, there's another 15 that have been there. So, if you value your private information, just give it up because you have no private information. The hacking team breach was very interesting. So, show of hands know what I'm talking about when I say the hacking team breach, right? That happened there. Good. The hacking team breach was very interesting because these guys they didn't even ride the line of being ethical or being fair or being politically correct or being legal. These guys are we'll sell you whatever to whoever. Right? These guys were bad. They wrote backdoor software and they sold it to whoever would buy it, which was very interesting. They had 0 days for Flash that they had in their repository that quickly meaning a day or 2, were taken out of that hack and put directly into the admin's plan. Right? They were operationalized immediately, which is very interesting. And when that stuff happens, I feel bad for people like Adobe, and I feel bad for people like Microsoft, and then all of a sudden everything's hunky-dory, we have this patch cycle, and all of a sudden that happens in the middle of the month, and we've got to redo the patch cycle, so. POS providers and merchants, of course, in the very beginning of the year, there was a lot of these that started coming out late last year. A lot of these started coming out, and we're not done with those yet. I have a bad feeling. So hopefully, I made a joke about chip and pin earlier, but does anybody know the date? It's in October, right? They're supposed to replace all magnetic swipe with chip and pin, or you get fined or something. We'll see what it happens. But anyway, how many people have a pin on their credit card? 5. That's great.
Most merchants on here are issued chip and signature.
Yeah, but they're supposed to. I think you're supposed to go to chip and signature by October. I think is what it is, and then you're supposed to go to chip and pin by next year. There's some required. I don't know.
Vendors have to support it, or they don't get amnesty on breaches, basically.
Okay.
They're liable.
Okay.
It's a liability. It's a liability shift.
Yes.
Yep. Mobile, question mark. Anybody guess what that number is underneath it? There's no way we're going to guess that. I don't know why I did that. Everybody keeps talking about this is the year of mobile, this is the year of mobile, this is the year of mobile, right? And we've been hearing this is the year of mobile for the past 5 years, right? This is the year that mobile will take over. How many people in here own an Android phone? Why? Don't answer the question, stop it. Okay, that number is the amount of malware that I have personally convicted that are APK files in the last month. It's 1 month. That I have convicted. That doesn't mean the rest of the entire Talos group doing convictions as well. That's how many I have convicted. Okay? Think about that for a second. 110,000 pieces of malware for the Android platform in 1 month. Just 5 buy an iPhone and be done. Stop it. I do not own stock in Apple anymore. But seriously, like, you know how many exploits, you know how many pieces of malware we found for the iOS platform in the wild for non-jailbreak phones? For non-jailbreak phones. None. Stop it. OS X. This is the year for OS X. This is the year for OS X. How many years have we heard this is the year for OS X? Right? This is the year we're going to attack OS X. That's the amount of malware that I've convicted as OS X in the past month. Yeah. You would think. Is this the year for OS X? No. Is next year? No. I think Apple's in the right place. And why I think Apple's in the right place is that I think they took the correct security steps they needed to take 3 years ago when they did it. Right? Sandboxing, etc., etc., etc. Privilege separation. Now they've gotten rid of root. So, in the next version of OS X, you don't run root, which will be interesting. That's the amount of OS X malware I have convicted personally in the past month.
What's behind that though? Are they coming in as jars or as actual Apple executables?
Those are D&D.
Those are what?
Those are D&D. Those are actual executable packages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are they just variants, or are
They could be variants, but you can't say that a variant is less threat than the other one, right? We have to treat everything equally. So numbers are numbers.
Are they mostly targeted, or are they coming?
No, they're not targeted. It's mostly you go down a little thing, you get infected with whatever the thing is. We don't see a lot of those sex targets. You know, it's not to say it's not going on. We just don't see it. This is my prediction. I predict Flash is dead in a year. Right? So there's been a couple of big Flash things go recently. For instance, Google on September 9th, which was last week, said we will no more ads in Flash. And that's putting ads in Flash. Google is the largest ad provider in the world. So for them to say that kind of knocks it down a little bit. I think iOS will be done, right? No Flash on iOS, no Flash on Android. That works. We have Flash on Android. Negative. Stop. And then Amazon, I think Amazon the same day said, well, we're going to stop serving Flash ads on the website or something like that. So, there was another recent Flash thing. I know what it was. I think it was the beginning of the month. It was kind of like another stake in the heart of Flash. Anyway, I think Flash is going away. Thank God. Thank God. So we have a system at Talos that auto-convicts Flash that we see in the wild that drop out of the Anchor exploit kit. And what I do is I try to tweak those on a daily basis so that people can defend themselves. I tweak the SHAs of the files on a daily basis so people can defend themselves. But yesterday we saw 5. Right? 5 different Flash exploits out of Anchor in the wild yesterday. Those were new. We've never seen before. Just yesterday we saw. So I really, if you have Flash on your machine, uninstall. If you are in charge of an enterprise, uninstall Flash. And the people that bitch about it can get over it. I haven't had Flash on my machine in probably 3 years, and I'm fine. I can't go to a restaurant site. Oh, darn. The restaurant site is get off of Flash. Like, seriously, kill Flash. If I have one thing that I can do with this audience or this video, get rid of Flash, please. Alright. I guess that's the end of my slides. That's the end of my slides. So here, typical Twitter and website points. But if anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. We have time. I'm finished 2 minutes.
So we've seen a bunch of increasing vulnerabilities in the last couple of years of problems with problems with the encryption in legitimate projects. Now, you've mentioned, with the exception of Tesla Crypt, I mean, are the bad guys really getting it right? Are they getting the encryption right that we can't break it in the same way that we found flaws in the good guy products?
Examples, there is a rise in encryption malware. Yes, in specific examples. Dire is a good example of that. Really big that are really, they're getting there. They're getting there. So, where your question is going, I would assume, is are you guys seeing a rise in encrypted malware and things like that, right?
I was wondering if they're using the encryption correctly.
Yeah, they're using encryption. Yeah, encryption is using encryption. So, yeah, good for them. But are we seeing a lot of more encrypted malware? Yes. I would be careful when I say a lot, because that's not a qualifying statement. But we are seeing a rise in it. We are seeing a rise in encrypted communications from malware. But by and large, I would probably say the amount of malware that we examine on a daily basis that use encrypted channels or is encrypted itself is probably 10%. And we examine 1.4, 1.5 million pieces of malware a day. So it's still a minority. I want to start with you, because I saw your hand first peripherally.
So I know you get a lot of this information from your own analytics and through your work, but those that, like myself, I'm a college student, that I'm not deeply involved in this on a daily basis. How do I learn about,
Yep. How do I learn more? The question was, how do I learn more about this kind of stuff without working in the industry, right? That's a good question. I have to say the most valuable resources that I lean on, that I get a lot of stuff from, and you probably get stuff from, are like trusted intelligence lists, right? Mailing lists that we all know each other, and we say, okay, I know you, I vouch for you, you're allowed to go on the list, and we vet you, and we say, okay, now that you're on the list, we can freely share information, right? And there's tons of people on these lists, competitors, non-competitors, friends, open source, common people. But it's all under the guise of like, look, we're here to counter the threat, guys. That's probably the best resource. I'm sure I would be remiss if I didn't say SANS, right? The SANS mailing list. And I mean the SANS mailing list. There are mailing lists that SANS has that you join and you can learn about things. Do you have any other good examples for that?
B-sides.
Look what he did.
Find somebody with gray hair that's been doing this a while.
Yeah.
Get their reading list. Get their OPML of their read feeds every day, and read that. I mean, I have one that I share with
just drop
younger
it
and
in.
more junior people.
Just drop it in.
Yeah, that's my email right there.
Yeah. Twitter. We're
Twitter.
So for a while, like if the ad follow security account, the people that we follow are people that are interesting, right? We don't just follow everybody that follows back, right? We don't do that. The people that account follows are very interesting. Sir.
I wanted to ask your professional opinion of the Flash. I understand that's a Flash where you're like, just get rid of it, right?
Yeah, please.
So, for
and
my
Java
job,
too, right?
right? Huh?
Java too, right?
And Java,
And
right?
so we're like, just get rid of it.
I agree. That's a great answer. It sounds really good in presentations. But in my job, so I do network security for the school system, right? Pearson Ed, one of the biggest content providers for education. They develop their curriculum a year in advance. It has to be tested. It has to work, which means that what it's tested on is Java 1.7. It's never the newest Java. Same thing for Flash. It's never the newest Flash. They don't use certificates to sign any of their code, and you can't block it. So what are your thoughts? Answer, get rid of Flash, get rid of Java. Doesn't work. So what do you do? And you can't upgrade it to the latest Java. You can't upgrade to the latest Flash because it breaks their content.
Sure.
And content in schools is king.
I would say allow specific allowances from plugins, right? You can do, for this website, allow Flash. All other sites don't allow. You can do that. And I know that's like right. You're looking at me like, there's no way this scales. Yes, I understand, I get it. And I've been in your shoes, like I've totally been there. But, right? The history, that's what's happening right there. Nostalgia. I've been there, and it's not an easy. I don't have an easy answer for it. If this was easy, we would, we'd all be rich. But that's probably the best way I can do is exclusions or inclusions, excluding everything else. Did I offer my exceptions, right? But that's probably the best advice I have for it. Otherwise, you'll find, once you are rid of Flash, you'll find that you don't need it. It's like smoking. Once you quit smoking, after 2 weeks, you're like, oh, I don't know why I smoke anymore. It's going to Flash. Sir?
I was going to say, we have a similar problem. We have some particular programs that we use on Flash 6.5. But
So,
another one runs 7.85. Another one runs 8.5. One computer going to all these different sites, it won't work. So we have to back it off every time and then reinstall it. Back it off and go back to the other one.
you just back it off.
Well, that's fine.
I love saying I'm all the answers.
You're going to do that to each computer.
Right.
Containerization, is that app containers and run multiple containers is what we use for that.
In theory, great. Practice.
Whatever thing would be good. No, it's not scalable solution.
What's running your platforms are?
Let's put it this way, it's that government agency that has breach, it's similar to that group. They're all running, different things depending on what departments you're in.
Well, I know some of the enhanced mitigation toolkit for some of the Microsoft platforms, right? You can do that. You can embed you can actually protect different exploits for Flash as well. So if you want to get that protection, you run some old versions of Flash. In theory, it should do that for you.
Yeah, there's ways you can, there's the same thing, you can also block older versions and stuff like that, right? You can say nothing will do this version, right? Apple does that for you, which I think is quite cool. Is they say, okay, you can't run Flash any more than X version, and they will remotely shut off Flash in their machine, your old version. Which is, like I said, it's kind of bold, but I want to do it. Like, Microsoft needs to do the same thing.
Joel, you have time for one more question, and you have 3 giveaways.
Oh, I have 3 giveaways. I should give one to you too. I'll be around all day, so, sir.
The best malware detection you can put in the hands of homeowners.
Okay. Best malware detection tool that you can put in the hands of homeowners. The thing that's either free or built in, right? The thing that causes the least amount of resistance for you to do your job. That's what I would say, right? And what I mean by that is, Microsoft has a great built-in ARs. It's pretty good. And when I say by pretty good, it's meaning there are exceptions to this rule when I say pretty good, right? Because they actually publish standards for what I need to be out there and spyware vendors to how we get around their detection. That's another factor. That is, but they actually publish detection. They publish criteria like this is how you don't get blacklisted to Microsoft. But that's very good. It's free. It comes. It's built in. It's a thing. I would say we make one and give one away. If you go to immunet.com, IMNUNET.com, you get one that's free. And it uses our cloud-based connection with the 4 megabyte client. This is what we got. So that's great.
Look at your own again.
Immunet. IMN, immunization, but Immunet. But yeah, I would say the thing that is the path for least resistance. You want to make it easy, you want to make it free, you want to make it updatable, so that it updates automatically, and so that your entities don't worry about it. So we have your question. Sure.
You mentioned the term before, convicting malware. What is that?
Convicting malware. So these are lockpicks. How are you going to log in? I mean, a set, so you're exceptionally evil. Are you exceptionally evil?
Sure.
Yes, you are. Yeah, you are. You're going to take this one. Yeah? All right. Sure. It's like $100 thing. It's awesome. If you want to give it back, take it.
It's actually a gigabit tap.
It's a gigabit tap. Look at you. So when I say convicting, right? We have a term internally that we say convicted code, right? And that's when we say for malware for us there is no gray area, even in the bad. So we say this file is bad. That's a conviction, right? That's what we poke it.
Declared it to be so.
I'm sorry.
You've declared it to be so.
I have declared it to be evil, and I have the ability to do that to any file I wish.
Thanks, Joel.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Okay, so once we serve here in just a minute, if you have your raffle tickets, I have the numbers. So, and don't record them. Okay.